In almost 90% of cases, when we find paranormal records on the internet, we always find short videos without a history or context about the person it happened to. However, this time I bring you 4 videos where the paranormal video itself is the least terrifying, and the most terrifying is the story it comes with. For example, what is happening to Paul, a skeptical of the paranormal who never thought that he would live something like what you are about to see. Hoping you won't spend the night alone, I invite you to watch this video. Because my name is Leonore Clay, and this is The Darkest Secret. Today we present something very scary is stalking Paul. 4 paranormal videos. Much of the videos you are able to see were sent to me by my audience. If you know or have paranormal material that you would like for me to see, do not hesitate to send it to the email that you now see on screen, or as a direct message to my official Facebook. Without further ado, let's get started. Number 4. The first record corresponds to an enigmatic recording that a subscriber of the channel sent to my email. In it, he writes that for a while now, both he and his family have been experiencing episodes of a paranormal nature. That it all started after a relative who traveled to Indonesia brought back a strange souvenir. It was a small porcelain clown, according to our subscriber. When his aunt was abroad, she bought several things in a grotty store. She didn't remember buying this clown, but she brought it anyway. From that day on, strange things began to happen. Tiny feet running across the ceiling could be heard, knocking on the doors, things like this, until the boy who wrote to us caught what would be the most terrifying of events.
¿Qué? Ay, ¿qué está pasando otra vez?
Falta de
Pendejo. ¿Qué? Ay, güey. Ay, güey. Ay, güey. Ay. No manches. The fuck. No puede ser. De veras que no hay nadie. Ahí está el gato. No es posible. Ay, güey. Ay, no manches. Ay, no me quiero cruzar porque no sé qué hay ahí. No, man.
Our subscriber assures that things have worsened to the point of having the intention of leaving the house. It strikes me as odd when he goes looking for the being who put his hands on the glass. When he enters the room, there is no one. In the case of it being set up, it turned out very well. According to him, all of this is true. What do you think? Number 3. What lies in this position is a strange record that one of the Guatemala security cameras captured and that Minor Obed, a regular subscriber, sent us. What you see on the screen corresponds precisely to the image recorded by the security camera that night, a night that passed quietly and without major surprises. Suddenly, our subscriber receives an alert by radio. The voice asks to check more carefully one of the streets that were just in front of the security camera that he was checking, since the lights of a vehicle had been turned on. Our subscriber reviewed the video, but what he found left him so perplexed that to this day he wonders if it was his eyes that deceived him. Observe.
Que hace un rato lo estaba viendo ahí en la cámara
por el monitor y de la nada salió. Ahí está, mira. ¿Viste? Así de la nada salió.
Usually, when these disappearances occur, it is because the video is cut. It shows in the camera numbering. However, here, the minutes run normally. The recording is absolutely continuous. Another disturbing point is that also, as you can see, the video is recorded with a cell phone. Since, as Leonore mentions, that nobody has access to these recordings, it is not possible to have the original record, so it could hardly have been edited. What happened here then? Number 2. What lies in this position is one of those stories that just hearing them makes your hair stand on end. And if you add those footages recorded by the protagonist, we have before us one of the most shocking stories you have ever heard. Our subscriber wanted to identify himself simply as Paul, who defines himself as a workaholic. Although he led a sacrificed life, he did not experience major trouble until from one moment to the next, and without realizing it, his life would become a true hell. In the first email he sent me, he tells that lately he had been having distressing nightmares. Nightmares that describe a strange being that chases him in the middle of a desolate street, and that no matter how hard he tries, he cannot move his legs fast enough. It was hard for him to move, always waking up just before he was caught. A nightmare that began to reoccur frequently and had begun to affect his job performance. He was not sleeping well and was feeling tired. That's how he was feeling when one day, and when he was already registering his 3rd day of terrible nightmares, he noticed how a light from one of the corridors where he worked emitted a strange noise. Suddenly, and when he approached, it began to vibrate aggressively. Although he did not give it much importance, it seems strange, since that is not an exhaust fan. It is just a light. He thought that if it were failing, it should just go out, but not move like that. When I first saw it, I marked it to delete it, as it was probably due to vibrations from the building. I was about to delete his entire story until he sent me a second footage a couple weeks later. On this occasion, and in a much more concerned tone, he writes to me that one of his company's security cameras caught a strange shape walking through the facilities. His colleagues don't know what it is, but he recognizes it very well. He explains to me in his email that this thing you're about to see is exactly the same thing that haunted him in his dreams. He firmly maintains that the being that is seen in the image corresponds to the creature that harasses him in his nightmares. And what is more, according to him, these were not the only things that happened at his work. He also witnessed several more situations that he did not manage to record. He felt scared, since these things happened only on his shift. It wouldn't happen to anyone else. So he made the drastic decision to quit his job, believing that with his leaving, everything would end. But unfortunately for Paul, it didn't. I filed his story and asked him to write to me again in case he noticed anything else. 3 days later, that is to say on May 1st, he wrote me desperately so that I will tell him what to do, that things have already surpassed all jokes and all explainable scenarios. And proof of that are these records that now and exclusively you will have the opportunity to see. Pay attention. What seems to be wandering is a shadow. Do you see it? To this day, I keep trying to contact him to find out about his current situation. However, I have not received any response from him. How can it be that a creature only seen in your dreams you can observe and record in reality? How could we help Paul to overcome his distressing situation? I would be looking forward to every message you can send me. Number 1. And for the end, we were left with an impressive record that was captured by a couple of young Asians. Record that apparently corresponds to an urban exploration carried out by these boys. The images show that they were walking through an abandoned house, a place that, according to them, was famous for the strange noises that came from it during the night. After searching for a while in the corners of this house, they decided to use the pengshi, a kind of oriental Ouija that serves to summon spirits. They never thought that it would work so well for them. Watch.
谁？谁？
Did you notice in that reflection, you can see a spoon moving freely, something that scared these young boys terribly. However, this does not compare in the least with what would come next. Despite being terrified, they continued to explore, encountering various mirrors that were upside down or rightly covered. After discussion that was generated between the two for staying there, they finally turned one of them to see the reflection. At this point, I suggest that if you want to sleep peacefully tonight, do not continue watching this video. If so, it's under your responsibility. Here it is.
这他妈哪是八卦镜啊！这他妈老镜呢！看都不说都是这个。我告诉你啊，你们的妈了个逼的！你们要是不喜欢看，你们赶紧走，没人他妈逼你搁这里头逼逼呲呲逼逼呲呲逼逼你妈了个逼一个个的，像他妈傻逼似的！操你妈一个个的！
Just millimeters from them, the face of an old woman appears between the two, unleashing the panic of these young boys that the only thing they could do was desperately start running from the house. A record that, without a doubt, being real, shows us that we are in permanent coexistence with things that are beyond what the human mind can understand. If you were able to see this video in its entirety, I congratulate you, because we have already come to an end. My name is Leonore Clay, and this was The Darkest secret.